Ceistella. Dr. Grealish, you're taking this one.
Yes. Minister, given the volatile situation in Ukraine and that the cost of the HE cyber attack last year is €100 million and still rising, can the Minister outline the increases in funding that have been given to the National Cyber Security Centre over the past 12 months, his views on the way the centre has improved Ireland's defence to cyber attack and state infrastructure?
Thank you very much indeed. The programme budget for cybersecurity in my department's vote for this year is €5.1 million, which is broken down as follows: €2.5 million on current expenditure, €2.6 million on capital. While this is the same funding allocation as 2021, it represents a trebling of the budget when compared to 2020. In addition, provision has been made in the department's estimate for this year for a year-on-year increase in the payroll and administration of the National Cybersecurity Centre in the sum of €2.5 million, €2.1 million of which is in pay and €400,000 in non-pay administrative overheads. The increased pay allocation is recognition of the Government's decision last July to expand the capacity of the National Cybersecurity Centre with an additional 20 posts to be filled before the end of the year. Strengthening of the National Cybersecurity Centre is a key component of our strategy. In the last year, we commissioned a capacity review to benchmark our National Cybersecurity Centre against its counterparts in Europe and other states. The consultants noted the knowledge, expertise and motivation of the National Cybersecurity Centre staff, which was apparent in their exemplary response to the HSE incident last May. The Government has accepted the recommendations in the capacity review and invested in increased capacity in a number of ways, including the appointment of a new director of the National Cybersecurity Centre and a number of new staff, new threat intelligence contracts and a new contract with the UCD Centre for Cybersecurity and Cybercrime Investigations. The National Cybersecurity Centre has also completed a national risk assessment of critical infrastructure to ensure that the NCSC has a thorough understanding of critical national infrastructure and has contact channels with all operators. Deputy, I need not, I suppose, you won't be surprised when I say this is of particular importance this morning. What we see happening in the world, we have to all be concerned about our security. Our systems are on heightened alert. They are working obviously with European and other colleagues to make sure that we're fully appraised of any risks or threats. I believe the risk at the moment to our country is low to moderate, but the possible knock-on consequences of what's happening elsewhere is something we have to be ever vigilant about, and we are doing that.
Thank you, Minister. Deputy.
Minister, I welcome the budget increase for cybersecurity and the recent appointment of Richard Brown to the position of Director of the National Cybersecurity Centre. The threat of these incidents can have devastating consequences for national security, healthcare and many other social, economic and personal consequences. The cyber attack on the HSE last year was the largest attack against any health service computer system in history. It paralysed systems and caused huge disruption throughout every part of the health service. The effects of the cyber attack are still being felt in certain areas. Cybersecurity threats now pose some of the greatest challenges to our state. In fact, only last Saturday, the National Cybersecurity Centre issued an alert, and given that the military conflict in Ukraine has escalated the last couple of days, can you please confirm that all essential posts have been filled and that the National Cybersecurity Centre is fully equipped with staff, technology and funding to deal with potential and probable threats that will occur in the coming months and years?
Well, first, I'm very glad you acknowledged that the appointment of Richard Brown as the Director of the NCSC was a key appointment. I think he's very well qualified, was centrally involved during that HSE attack last May. And yes, I can confirm that we are engaged and have a lot of the people that we wanted already taken in. The National Cybersecurity Centre has been moved to new offices which are fully equipped and secure. And further down the line, as my own department moves to Beggar Bush, we'll be building a state-of-the-art, secure, isolated facility to give us all the capabilities we need. As I said, the assessment, talking to Richard Brown and myself in recent days to get a sense of what the current risks are, we are on heightened alert. We're not seeing immediate DNS or other attacks on our systems, and obviously the key thing is that not just the National Cybersecurity Centre, but every government department, every business, monitoring and managing their networks to reduce the risk. And that's what the National Cybersecurity Centre's key role is. It's helping others to make sure we have our defences in place.
Minister, in addition to large-scale cyber attacks from abroad, cybercrime is on the rise, and according to Garda reports, it increased by 150% during the pandemic, costing billions in 2020. Unfortunately, a lot of people caught in online scams and fraud don't report it to the Gardaí, so the cost could be much higher. The attractions of cybercrime for criminals are many. The rewards can be higher, the risk of getting caught are lower, and even criminals not involved in cybercrime are using encryption to hide their activities and using cryptocurrencies to store and move money, which makes it harder for the Gardaí to track. The Garda National Cybercrime Bureau are struggling to recruit cyber experts due to competition from private sector, who are paying much higher salaries in competitive market. Minister, are the Garda National Cybercrime Bureau working with the National Cyber Security Centre, or do they work independently of each other? And can you confirm that there is enough resources going into both to protect our state and citizens?
No, Deputy Grealish, I would agree with you on the risk, crime risk, as well as national security risk. And it's vital that the Garda Síochána Cyber Unit, the National Cyber Security Centre, and I would also say our Defence Force cyber capability all has to work. Each has a slightly separate but coordinated role. The central coordinating role in the state is in the hands of the National Cyber Security Centre. They have to have the best expertise, the best contacts to international information to be able to assess risk and to share knowledge and information. And yes, I saw it in evidence during the attack last May, while there was a weakness in our system, which in effect allowed an incursion within the health system. And I suppose that was particularly weak at the time of COVID because we had so much network devices out there. But while that weakness was regrettable, what we saw in that period was the state's response was quick, was coordinated, and was collective. And that's what we do need. We need to make sure that both the Guards, the Defence Forces, and the National Cyber Security Centre work collectively. I'm confident they will and do.